Hi, bye.
Hey there, freelancers, this is the Bearded Gamer, and today we'll be looking at two loadouts for the Colossus. So the one we'll be beginning with is the one for groups. If you want to do an instance, a stronghold with a bunch of other people, this is the kind of build you want to be looking for. Because as a Colossus, of course, you can do anything. You can do damage, you can do AoE, but you can tank better than any of the other javelins. So there should always be a Colossus in a group, in my opinion. Let's start with the basics. The support gear you'll be using. So the battle cry. It forces enemies to attack you, so that should be a must, so you can take away aggro from your other teammates, and it also reduces the enemy resistance by 33%, so you don't really have much of a choice in the support gear category because there's only up to epics and there's only two different ones, so you want to use this. You can reduce damage with this, but it's not enough, it's very weak. Also, this specific one also gives me 21% extra armor, which is what we're looking for since we're the Colossus. Now let's move on to the ordnance launcher. Okay, there's a bunch here, but the one I found most useful, especially against small enemies, many enemies that surround you, is the voltaic dome. Not only is it a primer, but it does electrical damage and freezes everyone around you. So this enables, first of all, you stop receiving damage from these enemies, and they're primed so they can be downed fast with combos. You want to get the best stats on your ordnance launcher. This is the best one in my opinion. It gives you the best perk. Enemies are frozen once hit, and it's AoE. So I sort of ignored the stats. They're not really useful, none of these. Maybe the gear damage a little bit, but not so much, because we're not doing mainly gear damage, we're doing mainly combo damage, and we're getting all the attention to us so our teammates can kill the enemies. Now let's go to the heavy assault launcher. So again, there's a bunch here that you can use to prime enemies so your team can down them. You could use the venom spitter, which is pretty good. It also allows you to do 200% more damage with combos, which is great actually. I chose my assault launcher purely according to the stats it gives me more than anything else. This one, it's not because it's legendary, because it doesn't make much of a difference. It gives us a 30% repair drop rate, which is a must for the Colossus. You need to get healing all the time. Even though you have a lot of tankiness, you still, you draw all the fire, and you will need to be healing yourself up all the time. Plus 5% repair amount, so when you do pick up some healing off the floor, it repairs you for more. We'll look at the components last. Okay, there's something weird going on with the components since the last update. Now, the Endless Siege is actually my first masterwork autocannon that I got that I liked. This is the really fast one. Upgraded torrent. Accuracy improves the longer you fire, and it takes a few seconds to start, but once it starts firing, it's extremely fast. Base magazine size increased by 100%, and base damage is increased by 100%. And you get extra armor, a lot of extra armor actually. You get 73% extra, which again is what we're aiming for with the Colossus. You get some extra ammo for the autocannon. You don't really use it that much because you'll be reloading. You'll be picking up ammo faster than you'll be running out. Now you also have the railsblaze. Again, this is used purely for the stats. You get 60% extra armor and another 24% in secondary stats. So that's just great. And a 2% increase in the repair amount that you receive from healing. So that's always nice to have. And the perk actually is pretty nice. Ignites the target while on a hit streak. So if you hit 5 in a row, 5 bullets in a row on an enemy, you light him up. Now let's go to the components. Okay, I'll just look at them in the order that you're looking at them right now. So the first one, the catalytic overdrive, increases combo damage by 50%. Detonating a combo increases ability damage by 40% for 20 seconds. We're doing a lot of combo damage with our melee attacks. So it's an AoE melee attack that detonates primed targets and does pretty decent amounts of damage. So this is actually a nice perk to have. It also gives us a 15% increase in kinetic resist. Kinetic resist is basically impact damage, so bullets or gear that doesn't do AoE or elemental damage. And also 13% increase in our shield refresh, which is actually pretty good. You'll see why with the next components. By the way, if you've noticed, the armor reinforcement and the shield reinforcement, the amounts that we get are very low. I'm not sure why this happened. It's since the last patch. Normally, Masterwork Colossus components gave something like 10,000 something armor and something like 4,000 shields, more or less. And now it's 730 and 290, which is silly because the epic counterparts of these items give the normal amounts that they were giving before the patch. 2,800 with something like, no, sorry, it was something like 4,000 and 2,000 or something like that. So if these stats are right, and it's just not just a typo, if you wear the epic versions of these items, you get more armor and shields, which is stupid. I hope it's just a typo or something like that, or a bug, but in the game it actually works as intended. I don't know. Okay, let's move on to the next one. The shock treatment increases ordnance launcher damage by 5%. Taking damage increases all damage by 8% for 10 seconds, stacking to 10 times, so a total of 80%. While you're taking damage, you will be taking damage all the time. So this is basically an 80% increase in your overall damage output. The 5% ordnance launcher damage thing is just irrelevant. It's too irrelevant. You also get a 35% increase in support recharge. Not very important because you're not going to be using it all that much. Let's move on to the next one. Demolition Tribute increases Colossus shield damage while sprinting by 300%, and melee hits will cause enemies to restore 20% armor when defeated. This is the big one because you're doing melee attacks more than anything else, I think. Well, it's everything's even with the Colossus actually. You use your gear, your weapons, and your melee attacks equally, I think. So that's a lot. So whenever you hit someone with a melee hit and kill him, you get 20% armor back. Supposedly we have a lot of armor being the Colossus and all that, and with all the percentage increases, so that the 20% is a lot. Plus you get extra repair drop rates from other items, so this should be a pretty good build to keep you alive in difficult circumstances. You also get 13% kinetic resist, again, bullets, impact damage, and 20% increase in repair drop rates, which is great. Let's move on to the next one. Vanguard Emblem increases electric and fire damage by 35%. A shield break creates an explosion around you. Your shield will break all the time in GM2 and GM3. So this is actually pretty good because, first of all, you do electric damage. You also do fire damage with your second weapon that on a hit streak, it ignites the target, and the shield break, creating an explosion. If there's enemies near you, that's good. You do some extra damage. Plus 9% extra repair amount, and the ammo pickup we don't care much about. One before last is our universal component, the softened blows. I've used it for most of my javelins. I like the perk very much. Increases javelin shields by a large amount, not really. Increases damage resistance by 75% for 5 seconds when shields run out. So if your shield runs out, it gives you the chance to not die immediately and find a chance to hide somewhere so you can recharge your shield. The 75% damage resistance increase is actually really good. You get some other stuff, 5% physical resist. That's pretty good. That's like the kinetic energy one, but kinetic resistance, sorry, but better. Anything that has to do with physical damage, you have 5% more resistance to that. And the last one is the ablative shielding, heavily reinforces the Colossus armor and shields. This item, before the bug or the typo, gave something around 13,000 armor and 10,000 shields. And now look at this. This is silly. I don't understand what's going on. A shield break increases damage resistance by 40% for 10 seconds. So this, with this, for 5 seconds gives us 115 damage resistance increase. So does that make us invulnerable? I'm not sure. Probably not, because I've tried it and you can die even when these are enabled. And for the next 5 seconds, just the 40% damage resistance. Plus you get 20% fire resistance, which is pretty good. And I've actually been trying to find Masterworks the same as these ones, but with better resistances to elemental damage. I haven't found many. Any that I found, I've used. So this is actually the group Colossus build that I have, and it's actually working out pretty well for soloing stuff as well. I've done a lot of Grandmaster 3 legendary contracts because people won't join, because the player base is waning down, because Bioware can't seem to bring out new content fast enough. So I've been soloing Grandmaster 3 legendary contracts for a few days now. It basically just takes me a lot longer to finish each contract, because with this build you can actually do it. You have to just freeze them, melee attack so you do AoE damage. Be careful, try not to die. It's not that difficult, and you can do it as well with if you have full Masterworks and a couple legendaries. With the Colossus you should be able to do it, and this build has a lot of healing, so you'll be able to survive most of the stuff. So yeah, that's it. That's the build I've been using. And for the Colossus, I've done pretty survivable builds, let's say, for the other javelins, except the storm. I haven't gotten to the storm yet, and I think this is my favorite, because yes, the interceptor does a lot of damage, but even if you're careful with all the extra health drops that we get, the interceptor still dies a lot. The ranger has survivability, but you're focusing so much on the survivability part, my god, that you can't do the damage output that you want to do. So this is just move on, freeze, AoE damage, freeze, AoE damage, everyone's dead. The Colossus is boss. Okay, so let's check him in action, shall we?
This area is known for erratic wildlife. We must have disturbed them. There's one. I know there's more. We have enough. Exceptional work. Interesting. I have something else for you not too far away. An Arcanist colleague hasn't picked up any messages for too long. Please find out what's happening.
Got it. On my way.
Using the cage for protection and wait for help. Good idea. Overwhelming odds.
Thanks for the save.
Last, I should guess we'll be attacking this area. Curses. It's a Dominion Valkyrie.
Alright, so there's not many changes for the second loadout that I was going to talk about. Basically what I changed was, instead of this, the repair drop rate and the damage on this is pretty decent, and the perk that you get as well because you have it more often. But on the other hand, this one, the solvent green, first of all, it's a primer, which is always a good thing. Second of all, the perk, while equipped, combos do 200% more damage. The vast majority of your damage is combos, so this is actually amazing. you're almost doubling your overall damage output when you're solo. Because you're solo, everyone's coming towards you, so everyone's near you. You do AoE damage with the with your ordnance launcher. Everyone freezes. You do a ground slam with your melee attack. Twice the combo damage. A lot of those enemies are probably going to drop healing, so it's all good. It's really good. And for the components, I haven't changed much really. I've just put this, so whenever you pick up a repair pack, you get increased damage by 50%. This one we already have on the other loadout. Same as this. This one increases maximum ammo capacity by 35%. Not really important, to be honest. When hit with a status effect, increase all gear damage by 40%. This is not bad. We use our gear quite a lot actually. Increases ordnance launcher damage by 5%. This we already have in the other loadout. And it also increases our damage output by 8% for 10 seconds, stacking to 10 times, so that's 80% every time we take damage, which is always, so we're always going to have this active, basically. And the emblem of destruction increases all blast damage by 15%, performing a multi-kill, which we do often. With your ultimate, will increase ultimate charges by 33. Wait, I've just realized what this does. So if you are executing your ultimate ability and you kill at least 5 enemies with one blast, then you get another charge for your ultimate. So instead of 3, you get 4 charges. And if you keep killing 5 at a time, it keeps increasing. Okay, I was wondering, because there was this one time that I actually managed to shoot 4 I don't know, missiles, I guess, rockets, whatever. So, okay, not bad. Okay, so that's it. Is there anything that you guys would prefer to change, or how do you guys play with the Colossus? Do you main the Colossus as a tank, damage output? Would you guys change anything? What's your opinion on these two builds? I'd like to hear from you in the comments below. So anyway, that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thank you all for watching. This is the Bearded Gamer. Over and out.